What's going on, everybody? Before we get this video started, I did want to just quickly apologize for not doing any forecasting on this winter storm beforehand. I know this is kind of a last-minute thing, but just keep in mind we have had a lot of severe weather to cover recently here, and I've also been working on a couple of extra side projects that will appear in future videos over the next couple of weeks, and I'm even planning some stuff out for over the next couple of months. So the Davis's Weather channel is expanding, so I hope that is all right with you guys, that we haven't been able to crank out quite as many forecasts and videos recently, but just know it will pay off towards the end of this month and over the next couple of months in general. So again, thank you all for the understanding, and let's get right into today's forecast. A potentially record-breaking winter storm is getting ready to impact the Gulf states, so in this video, we're going to be breaking down everything that you need to know about it. So let's go ahead and get right into it, starting off by taking a look at the watches, warnings, and advisories map here. We can see that we've got winter storm warnings in those pink shaded boxes everywhere from portions of South Carolina all the way back through to Mexico, and seeing winter storm warnings for areas along the Gulf Coast is very rare and has only happened a few times in the history of the National Weather Service. So this is a pretty crazy thing to see. You'll also notice those purple shaded boxes there. Those are winter weather advisories, basically just a step down from your winter storm warnings, but areas that we think that we could still see a few inches of snow accumulation there. So those go across sections of central South Carolina, central and northern Georgia, central Alabama, central and southern Mississippi, northern Louisiana, and central Texas there. So now that we've gone through all that, let's go ahead and take a look at some models and what they want this event to play out like. So let's go ahead and get into it, starting off with the HRRR model here. We can see that by later tonight, we're going to start to see some snow and wintry mixed showers develop across portions of central Texas, and eventually that's going to turn into a massive band of snow extending all the way from parts of Texas back through areas like Mississippi here, and we could even end up seeing some of that snow entering the Gulf of Mexico, which is extremely rare if you're not aware, and this will make its way eastward, becoming heavier the further east it goes here, all the way into the Florida Panhandle. Now, unfortunately, the HRRR model here cannot look far enough out to see the total impacts from this winter storm, but we can see that it likes the idea of a good half foot of snow accumulation or more in localized regions of southeastern Louisiana, which is looking to be the snow hotspot here according to a lot of our models. So now we go ahead and take a look at the NAM model here. We can see that we've got wintry mix and snow showers developing there once again in central and southern Texas later tonight, and by midnight we could see some of those stretching back into Louisiana and getting quite heavy at times, maybe even some snow squalls mixing in there, so look out for some potential reduction in visibility. That will continue to push eastward there, growing further and further towards areas like Mississippi, Alabama, and the Florida Panhandle by tomorrow morning. And then by tomorrow at lunchtime, this kind of makes its way into the southeastern quadrant of the United States. And if we go ahead and switch things over here to the southeastern United States, we can see this system could end up bringing some heavy snow as well to portions of the Carolinas here, according to the NAM model. So by the time that this moves out of here and everything is said and done, we can see that we are expecting some significant snow accumulations to develop across sections of southeast Texas and southwestern Louisiana. Generally, the NAM model here kind of likes the idea of 8 or more inches of snow in localized regions of extreme southeast Texas and extreme southwest Louisiana. Areas like Port Arthur, Texas, kind of getting back over there towards the Lake Charles, Louisiana area, kind of is where the NAM thinks that we could have the greatest snowfall accumulations. And then if we switch over to the southeast here, we can actually see areas like Jacksonville, Florida could pick up on a foot of snow or more in localized regions, according to the NAM model, which would be historic because I don't believe the Jacksonville, Florida area has ever seen anything like that before, and if they have, it would only have been once or twice in all of history. So moving on to what the RGEM model here is showing, kind of a similar picture. By midnight, some of that snow moves into portions of Louisiana, eventually making its way towards parts of Mississippi, becoming quite heavy at times, and this will likely continue throughout the evening time hours of tomorrow as well by the time it makes its way over to the southeastern quadrant. And we can see that as we get into tomorrow night towards Wednesday morning, this will mostly have moved out of here at this point, but if this does end up playing out, this could bring some of the more significant snow totals that any of the models have been showing here. If we take a look at this, we can see that it's forecasting a good 10 inches of snow, in even more than that in some localized regions of southeastern Texas there. Areas like Houston would pick up on 10 inches of snow if that were to play out. Areas like New Orleans, Louisiana would get a good half foot of snow. We could be expecting quite a bit of snow over areas like Lake Charles, Louisiana. And then if we switch things over to the southeastern United States, we can see it likes the idea of most of that snow there staying north of the Florida Panhandle, but we definitely could still see a few inches of accumulation there in areas in the western part of the Panhandle, areas specifically like Panama City, Crestview, Tallahassee, and then also maybe a good swath of snow there develops a few inches across southeastern Georgia. Now, let's go and take a look at the GFS model lastly here. We can see that it likes the idea of, again, this kind of turning over to a more so Louisiana, Mississippi event by the time we get to midnight tonight. A big band of ice there develops right along the Gulf Coast, but other than that, we mainly end up seeing snow for this event, and if that were to play out, the snow totals with this event would be pretty significant. Again, we'd be talking about a good 9 inches of snow all across southern portions of Louisiana, which, based on a blend of all the models, seems to be kind of the hot spot here for snow. So areas like Lafayette, Louisiana, Lake Charles, Baton Rouge, look out for the potential for 6 to 9 inches of snow, maybe even more, and then potentially up to 10 inches of snow there for areas in southeast Georgia and northern Florida. It really all depends on where that freezing line sets up, because if it's any at all further off to the north, then Florida may not pick up on any snow whatsoever. But if it's this far to the south, they could end up seeing a good 8 to 9 inches. So very significant stuff that we really do have to be watching at all times. Now, before we end off this video, I want to quickly thank all of our channel members. I greatly appreciate you guys. If you want to become a member, the link will be down in the description below. I'm going to try to start doing more members-only content. The weather has just been extremely active recently, so make sure to click that link down below if you do want to support this channel, but I understand if you can't. Another way to help out is just clicking that like button and subscribing. That helps push this forecast further into the algorithm for the people that need this. We do severe weather coverage and severe weather forecasts, as well as winter storm coverage and forecasts pretty much every day on this channel, and by the time that we get to hurricane season, which 2025 looks like it could be somewhat active, we're going to have coverage for that as well. So thank you all for watching this video. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace. So, for everybody that's stuck around here towards the end of the video, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. On January 27th, next Monday, you can expect the final lore drop from the Davis Does Games ARG/mystery/whatever you want to call it, and a very satisfying conclusion to it all. So if you have been interested in that saga, make sure to check out that video Monday. You guys are going to be the only people that I tell about this, so thank you guys for sticking around until after the outro. But yeah, enjoy.